Hello, today we're doing a patch 11.5 review, meta review. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump into the top lane. So yeah, I've got some heavy computing going on, so the queries might take a bit longer than normal. So the two best picks with a meta score above 30, that's the normal threshold to be considered strong or meta, just Gnar and Riven. The others aren't too persuasive. Aurelia is actually just awful. Setanioni and Mundo as well. So noob traps, I would go as far to say. Gnar and Riven, yeah, doing well. I did check the 11.5 notes and they weren't buffed in this patch, but yeah, they've been doing well. So let's look at the jungle next. So Hecarim, yeah, meta score over 200, super OP, 0 counter picks, 65 favourable matchups. Yeah, there's no two ways about it. Hecarim is super OP on 11.5, and we do see that Hecarim is getting a nerf to his Q. It's a very small nerf though. Well, it looks small anyway. 20 damage on his Q. I guess it's very spammable, but yeah. So yeah, Hecarim definitely deserving of nerfs. Lilia Graves, Mundo doing pretty bad. Yeah, Lilia potentially overrated in pro, I would go as far to say. Karthus is also doing very well, and Nocturne, Elise, and Kha'Zix are the other ones above 30. So yeah, Elise doesn't seem to be getting played all that much, to be honest. Nocturne is getting played in and flexed in 3 lanes, mid, top, jungle. So pretty interesting champion that. And Karthus was also nerfed in the same way as Hecarim, a nerf to his Q. By the same amount, 20 off the highest rank, 250 to 230, 208 from 228. So they seem to have taken the same approach to both champions. Okay, let's look at the mid lane. So there are quite a few champions above 30. Katarina, well, let's start at the top. Galio, yeah, Galio's still been doing very well for forever. 65 is not like super OP or even OP, I would say, but actually maybe it is. Maybe I need to readjust my thresholds, because just having one counter pick doesn't exactly suggest balanced. But yeah, Kiana seems to be getting slept on still. Diana as well. Talon. Ari did get played in pro on this patch, which is interesting. I know, for example, Doublelift is very critical of Ari, says it's useless champ, but the Everfrost changes seem to be treating it very well. So we'll look at some noob traps champions. Aurelia, Lucian, Yone, Rise. Syndra actually has 20 counters apparently. Might just look at those, because she gets played just all the time. Show counters to selected champions. So yeah, Katarina, Diana, Twisted Fate, Zera, Veigar, Oriana, Aurelian Sol. So yeah, these are just the mid-lane champions actually, but nevertheless they're all. It's interesting that 3, 4, 7 of the 20 counters are direct lane opponents. So yeah, maybe Syndra is not such a great blind pick that people pick in pro as they might think. Lots of options here. Okay. TF has counters as well, but he's pick ban in pro as well. So yeah, I might just look at those as well. Okay, none of them are actually mid lane counters, so that makes sense. Show counters. Bard, Hecarim, Karthus, Nocturne. Is that all there was? Yeah, 4 counters. Hecarim, Karthus, Nocturne, and Bard. Pretty interesting. Let's look at the bot lane champions. So yeah, some pretty big meta scores here. Kai'Sa, Tristana. Trista's, yeah, the queen, yeah. trying to check the agenda quickly. Queen of bot lane, Kai'Sa did get nerfed on a previous patch. Was it this one? No, it must have been the previous one. But yeah, she's still very viable. And yeah, Tristana's probably due for a nerf. Over 100 is pretty rare. So yeah, not much to say here. Jinx has been creeping up. She got a buff a few patches ago. And then yeah, the other ADCs are nothing really worth talking about. Loads of counters to Sivir and Xayah. So Xayah is actually getting played a bit. It'll be interesting to see what her counters are. So she does bad against Thresh, Jinx, Hecarim, Janna, Talon, Karthus, Garen, Katarina, Kiana, Talia. Wow. It's just a lot of champions she does bad against. A lot of them are more like solo queue champions though. So Janna doesn't get played in pro. Nor does Talon, nor does Karthus really. Nor does Garen really, nor does Katarina, nor does Kiana. So that might be why. Nor does Ziggs. Pretty interesting though. But yeah, potentially Xayah is overrated. That's what I would say. Okay, let's have a look at the support situation. So Thresh, wow, 180. That is, I was not expecting that. 0 counters, 60 favorable matchups. So it seems like the engage is just so valuable right now. Bard, Alistair, Leona as well in the other top 4. So that is very interesting. Bard with 0 counter picks as well. And Noob Trap being Yumi, Senna, maybe Seraphine. It's interesting that Seraphine is gutted so much. Okay, so she did get a few changes on this patch, including the R. Okay, I thought she only had the R change, but she also got this change as well. So yeah, Seraphine no longer too strong. So yeah, these might be some champions you want to play. And then finally we will do the review of what meta we're in for 11.5. So it seems to be mid-meta, interesting. So the jungle nerf seems to have removed some power from the jungle that has been reallocated to the mid lane. So it's pretty interesting. Surprise support is so low, that's a big change. But I think as we just saw with the strength of the support role, there's only 2 champions with high scores, Alistair and Leona, around 25. So yeah, it's only Bard and Thresh with like 87 and 180. So that probably explains it. But yeah, jungle is still very influential. So maybe they'll need to come back and make some more changes. Yeah, the average scores is interesting. I mean, the average jungle score is still really high, with a lot of champions appearing in there. So yeah, jungle's still strong. Like the mid meta score is much lower, for example, even though more champions appear there. Cool. I think that's everything I wanted to cover. I guess we could do a review of how the model's performing. So this is for pro games. This column on the left, this looks at the drafts and predicts the winner. It doesn't take into account the team names, so it just looks at the champions and says who's going to win from the champions. This is correct 57.6% of the time, and it's actually this number divided by 2 is the number of matches played, because it basically, the way it's set up is that it makes a prediction for like one team to win and one team to lose. That's why the sample size is 2x. And then this one takes into account the draft and the team skill. So that's 65%. That's over 125 games, 126 games. I do want this number to be higher, because just taking into account the team skill over like all professional games ever played, which is 60,000, you can actually get 72% correct just by guessing the team with the higher elo. So I may as well show the elo graph of the elo feature right now, actually. Let's go here. So we can show G2, for example, and their elo over time. So every team starts at 1500, and this is the average elo they had in a given month. So yeah, you can track their performance. You can also track an individual's performance as well. So this is Faker. He's broken the 1900 barrier 3, 4, 5 times, is that? Yeah. So yeah, based on the ELO scores of two teams, G2 versus SKT, for example, yeah, you can get about 72% correct. So might need to continue working on this, but nevertheless, I have done some small bets using this model, and there have been some odds where you can get like 5 or 6 to 1 on your money. So even though the favorite didn't win, you can still actually come out ahead by betting on the underdog in certain situations. So yeah, I didn't have time to make bets this weekend, but last weekend, yeah, got a 10% return on investment, which is pretty crap, but we were up 2x at one point. But yeah, then we just bricked everything. Anyway, yeah, hope you enjoyed the tools, and see you next time.